My brother yelled, "You're always the problem. Leave." I walked out silently. A week later, he called screaming, "Why is my stuff being locked out of the office?" I'm Lenora, 28, and I run a small marketing agency from my home office. For 3 years, I built this business from nothing, working 12-hour days, sleeping on my couch between client calls, surviving on ramen and determination. My home office was my sanctuary, perfectly organized with 2 monitors, a ring light for video calls, and a whiteboard covered in campaign strategies. Last year, my brother Keaton lost his corporate job. He was 31, had a marketing degree, and honestly seemed pretty devastated. When he called asking if he could work from my spare room just until he gets back on his feet, I felt bad for him. We'd grown up close, and I remembered how he used to help me with homework when we were kids. Of course, I said. Family helps family. Big mistake. The first week was fine. Keaton set up his laptop in my spare room, kept quiet during calls, even brought coffee sometimes. I thought maybe this could work out. He seemed motivated, sending out resumes and networking on LinkedIn. But by week 2, the problem started. Keaton would blast music while I was on client calls. When I asked him to use headphones, he'd sigh dramatically and say, "Fine, I'll turn it down." 5 minutes later, it was loud again. He started eating my food without asking. I'd come downstairs to find my leftover Thai food gone, or my good coffee beans empty. "I'll replace it," he'd always say, but never did. The mess was constant. Dirty dishes in my kitchen sink, his clothes draped over my furniture, papers scattered across my dining table where I sometimes worked. My organized professional space was becoming chaos. When I brought it up, Keaton would get defensive. "It's just temporary, Lenora. Relax. You're being way too uptight about everything." But the real issue started when he began treating my business like his personal playground. He'd interrupt my Zoom calls by walking behind me in his boxers, grab snacks loudly during important presentations, or start phone interviews right outside my office door. "Keaton, I'm with a client," I'd whisper, covering my mic. Sorry, he'd mouth back, then continue his conversation at full volume. My clients started noticing. "Is everything okay on your end?" became a regular question during calls. I was losing my professional image, the reputation I'd spent years building. The worst part? Keaton wasn't even trying that hard to find work. Yeah, he'd send out a few applications each week, but most of his day was spent playing video games or watching Netflix. When I mentioned this, he'd get irritated. "Job searching is stressful, Lenora. I need downtime to decompress." Meanwhile, I was working around his schedule, tiptoeing in my own home, losing clients because of his disruptions. 3 months in, I was at my breaking point. My income had dropped 30% because I couldn't focus, couldn't maintain my professional environment. I was exhausted, frustrated, and starting to resent having him there. Then came the day that changed everything. I had a presentation scheduled with Peterson Holdings, a massive company that could bring in $50K in contracts. This was the biggest opportunity I'd had all year. I'd prepared for weeks, created custom mock-ups, rehearsed my pitch dozens of times. The meeting started perfectly. Mr. Peterson and his team were engaged, asking good questions, nodding at my proposals. I was nailing it. Then Keaton's computer crashed. He burst into my office mid-sentence, not caring that I was clearly on a video call. "Lenora, my laptop just died and I have an interview in 20 minutes. Can I use your backup computer?" The clients could see everything. Keaton standing behind me in his underwear, gesticulating wildly, completely oblivious to what he'd just interrupted. "I'm so sorry," I said to the screen, trying to maintain composure. "Can we continue in just 1 moment?" But the damage was done. Mr. Peterson's professional demeanor had shifted. The energy was gone. "Actually, let's reschedule," he said politely. "Seems like you have some technical difficulties to sort out." The call ended. 50K gone. That night, I calmly asked him to find somewhere else to work. Keaton exploded. "You're always the problem. You're selfish and controlling. Maybe if you weren't such a perfectionist, you'd actually be successful." Then came the final blow. "Leave. I don't want to see your face." So I did. I packed my laptop and drove to a coffee shop. But here's what Keaton didn't know. The office Wi-Fi, the business internet, the cloud storage access, all under my name, all requiring my passwords. A week later, my phone rang. Keaton panicking. "Why can't I access anything? My client presentation is in an hour." I smiled. Toxic people don't get to run their careers from their sister's desk. Find your own office. He moved out the next day.